Hey, what's up? It's your boy Tim Hykes here, and I felt very inspired today and wanted to do a tutorial. And today we are going to create some abstract art inside of Adobe Illustrator. It's just something that you can always do with simple shapes to try to create a, somewhat clean line illustration, just using simple shape building tools. So just let us jump in there and have a little fun. We're going to do this organically. So you're basically going to see me trying to think through the composition, think through how to lay this out, think through what the colors are because I never know what colors I want anything to be. But it's a cool way for you to create something that's cool and interesting that you can put up on Instagram that people can marvel at. It's also an excellent way for you to create some type of clean line, non-evasive type mural. I've seen lots of murals that use some of these shape builder type tools, and it's really aesthetically pleasing. It all depends on the colors that you use, and I ended up landing with blue. So let me stop all this talking, doing this intro, and let's jump into creating. Hey, it's me, Tim Hykes, and I'm finally motivated to actually do a tutorial. I know it's been years since I've did something on my graphic design channel, but it's all about the motivation and me feeling to want to go through the process because it's very encompassing. But anyway, enough with talking about the process of actually recording something and getting something up, especially since I'm just talking into a mic. But today I wanted to do something a little bit simpler. It's like cool Instagram art that you see around and on Instagram. So I want to create something that's shape based where we can unite some shapes, subtract some shapes to make something that's visually interesting, but it's basically going to be led with colors. That's what it's going to, yeah, it's going to be led with colors. So let's see what we're going to do. So let's make a new composition. Well, we're not in, I'm thinking about motion. I'm saying composition. Oh, we're going to get a new artboard. So let's go to file, new. You want to pull up an artboard, and so it's already 1080 by 1080, which is what we're going to need. You can name it whatever you want to name it. I'm just going to call it art. It's going to be for Instagram, something cool that I can just throw up on my page. My page is really not art focused, if you understand what I'm saying, but I do throw things up here and there, but I think I've created something cool. So let me make this bigger for you. Now, what we need to do is determine our shape layout. I'm doing this all by hand. I'm not pre-thinking about this or bringing a sketch ahead of time. I probably should have, but I'm not because I'm inspired now to do this. I was just laying in bed and I was just like, hey, I want to create some art. I'm like, hey, then why not do something for my graphic design channel? So let's see how this is going to go. So I'm thinking it needs to be squares. And how to measure this out is we're just going to do a row of squares here. So basically what I did, I created a square. Need to explain what I'm doing. I went here to your shape tool. So rectangle tool, and then you just click. I'm on a Mac, so I'm holding Alt or Option and Shift, and I'm basically bringing it out so that it'd be even. So you stretch it out here. It's going to stretch out evenly, meaning it's going to be a perfect square. And I use the color so that I can see what I'm doing against the right. I'm lining this up with the corners, and I'm going to hold down Alt, which you see here, it changes your mouse, and that's going to allow you to select it and make a copy. So I'm going to continue to do this and make enough copies where I can see if this would fit. It'd be crazy if so it won't. So we have this, I don't even know how many this was, but we have enough copies, and now we can take this and scale this along the square. So now we have pretty much our layout that's scaled evenly. So we're going to hold down Alt or Option, and we're going to now fill up the rest of these. And these are squares that we're going to use to create our art. Now we have a little dilemma here because now there's a portion in which it didn't cover up. So we can either stretch it and it won't be a perfect square, or we can try to do something different. But I'm going to stretch it because I don't have time to be trying to figure out, these perfect dimensions and making things fit. I would just prefer to stretch it. And so pretty much what we are attempting to do is create a shape pattern in each square. And these shape patterns should meet up in such a way that it allows us to create a composition. This might get a little difficult because it's not a perfect square. I might have to rethink this. Yeah, let's rethink this. So now you're seeing my process here where I'm creating random art, and this is why you don't do that. This is exactly why you spend time to sketch that out, because then you have that all done. So I'm rethinking this because it didn't fit, and we're definitely going to need some rule break. So it didn't fit, and I'm rethinking the layout. So I don't think we're going to do something that's going to fit perfectly. We're going to basically have to create a background type situation and work within the confines of what we have. So I'm doing the same thing we were doing earlier. It's just a repeat of what we did, and it's very simple. I'm just holding down Alt and dragging. And so now we have a square within a square. I'm going to take this. Let's center it. I know there's going to be some people yelling at me like, oh, you didn't tell me, you didn't walk me through, but you can just go back and actually see it yourself. Let's see, where are we? So I'm pressing the down arrow key to make it, I'm centering it by eye. You don't have to center it by eye. You can actually select it all and press Control G, or you can go up to Object, and hit Group, which is what I'm doing. That's what Command G or Control G. It's probably on your Windows scene, and then you can change over here and align to Artboard, and you can hit horizontal alignment in the center, and then it's a vertical alignment to the center, and that will do that. I didn't necessarily want it grouped, so we can go back up here to options and we can go to ungroup to ungroup it. So now it's ungrouped. This is my layout. So I need this. I think I'm going to change the color now to something that I can definitely see. Look like I got, oh no, okay, that I can definitely see. So now let's play around with some of these shapes. And what we could do is, so think about it like this. You have a square, and you could do a circle that's somewhat like this, and it could fill up this square, and that could be one thing. But the cool thing about working in this type of artistic manner is, what happens if you take the circle and you do this, and it's a product of 4 squares. So now this is a half a circle type deal that you're dealing with to try to make this art. And then what happens if you change that circle here or there? It becomes a very unique layout, and that's why I want to do this, because it allows us to be very unique, and it allows each individual that does this to really create their own unique artwork. It doesn't have to be the way that I created. It could definitely be what you interpret it to be. And that's what I'm looking for, something that I can interpret to be completely different. And we can play around with these different shapes, make them to different things, and there's different ways that you can line this up, which would be really cool. So that's what I'm looking to do. So let's look at these shapes. I'm going to take a square. I'm going to take a square. So we're going to select this square. So it's the selection tool. This is this one here. It's the selection tool that you're actually doing. And I'm going to hold down Alt so that I can have this square. And I'm going to come over here, and we're going to just change it from the outline to the color. I'm going to change the color again. Let me change to black. This is going to be, here we can actually remove some paths to do something different. So it's a square. I can go here, select that anchor point. So this is a direct selection tool. You hit A to get that selection tool, and you can delete the point. So I have A here, and selecting the point, you can select it and you can delete it. What you can also do is you can just select this corner and you can make it curved. So now you have that curved piece that you can bring back into your composition, and look at that, a curved circle. And what you could do, you can take this and make another curved circle. You can turn it around, you can unite it. But what if you did that and say you turned it this way? So now it's going upside down. So now you're getting these very unique shapes that can create a totally different composition. So that was what we did with that first square. So let's take another one. So I have this one, my selection tool is selected, We're going to hold down Alt, Option, whichever one you want to call it. Bring this here, let me change it. So I'm switching over my stroke to the fill, and I am changing that. And now what we did last time is we did something like that, and we turned it into a circle. So there are these, when you have your selection tool and this item selected, it should pop up if you're in Adobe Illustrator 2020. Most of the new Creative Cloud, you should see these circles pop up, which should allow you to round the corners. So you're just going to take that and drag it. You can round the corner. You can take the direct selection tool, as we did last time, and you can just select one corner and round a corner. You can select another corner and round it back. You can select this corner. Any one of these corners can do that around the corner. But now what we take the opportunity to take one and delete a corner. And so we took the direct selection tool, we deleted the corner. We want to make sure that we add that line back. So here we are selecting our pen tool. You can hit P to select your pen tool, and I can connect that angle back. Easy as pie. And what if you thought about rotating this to where the flat edge met up with what we did there? So now you start to see where you can really be creative. So this curved around here, curved back, and then the edge went flat. And so we have that. And I'm doing some of the same principles. I'm still holding down Alt, and you can press Shift to move it in a straight line. And if you get close to the edge, you get these little rounded arrow selection. And if you hold Shift, you can switch it, turn it around. So now that gives you the opportunity to do something else. Now we have these triangles, and here this white space is making an arrow. It's giving us something really unique and dynamic. So if I go that and I do that like this, now we created two visual arrows, which is pretty cool. So that's still using black and white. I'm not ready for color yet because color is bringing a completely different dynamic. And if I did something like this, I can truly block out that area, that space. So now I have these two arrows. I have some circles going on. I do want to do I'm thinking about what if a circle went around here. So give me a second. So we have the circle. I'm going over here with the ellipse tool. So if you hold it, this circle over here. So here's my cursor. So I'm coming over here. We had our rectangle tool is what it was the first time. But if you hover over this and you press down and hold it, you can actually change it. And I want to select the circle tool. So I'm doing that, and I'm pressing and I'm dragging. I'm going to hold Shift and Alt and pull from the center. And the goal is trying to see so these are two that's overlapping. What if I had a full square and I have these half corners that make a circle in the middle? I mean, it could be a very cool composition, and that's what I'm thinking that I want to do. So I'm going to delete that. I want to make a single square here. So since I do have my map still kind of up, I can do that. So I'm going to hold Alt, and I'm going to drag this over, and I want to drag this over here too, maybe switch it around. And now what this has done is created something else. I don't know. I'm still just playing around here because I don't know what I want it to be. Here, let's make a diamond. So we have these shapes. I'm still doing the same technique we was doing earlier. And I can bring this around and I can make a diamond there. We had this go down here. I don't know if I like that. It's something that you can still play with. You can still play with these shapes. So this is creating like a square with a circle, with a triangle basically right here. If you see what happened. I'm just, I think I'm not. So here we have these outside of these two circles halves. I'm going to press here and let's switch some things around. Let's switch that to the outside. And how about I did the same thing here? Hold down Alt and I'm holding down Shift. And I'm switching that to the outside too. So this created like a curtain type deal. You know how when you were in elementary school and you were creating curtains when you drew, and this is what you basically did. This is the top, this is the bottom. That kind of did that. But I want to break some of this monotonous up because this is like the same thing over and over. And I'm also thinking about other shapes that could possibly. So right now we're using circles and squares, and we're just being random with it, and really looking at what the random of these things are doing and what type of shapes they're making. So I'm here, and so basically you're getting the basics of this, and this could really just help you create something that's visually interesting. And then later we're just gonna take some color to this to see what we do. And I'm just playing around. So here we have these interesting type shapes. They're like triangles. We've only used one full square so far. Let me see what else we can do. I wonder what happens. Now we have this blocked out type area. I want to bring a half something like that. I'm trying to think what else I can put. What if we put this part here? So now we have this triangle that goes up to a shape, and I'm wondering what I could do. So I don't want the sameness because all those angles are the same. So I want to change something up. That's pretty interesting. So this creates like the opposite, like a negative. So we have the black, and then it creates like this negative space that's going down, which is pretty visually interesting. I'm trying to see. Maybe I would bring this down here to create to break up some of that. Oh, I don't like how that looks. I really don't. I'm gonna turn it around. Let's see what happens. And I'm just playing around, and you can play around with it too, with these shapes. It's not turning for me. Oh, you know why I'm not turning? Because I'm actually turning a red square in my base and not that. So this is a little better. I keep thinking there's too much white space here in the middle, but that might all clear up. I wonder what happens if I bring these two down. So I got that arrow there. And what if I bring this down? What happens? I'm actually going to hold Alt and just bring that right on down. That creates something different. So now I really want to do something in this square here and then this one here. And I'm thinking if I did that and maybe if I connected these in the middle like that, it brings, what do you guys think? So now I'm doing something that I should have pre-thought about. So I'm going to take all of my black pieces and I am going to hide them from the composition, and I am going to remove my red grid that's beneath to reveal the composition that I have. So we're going to go up in here to Object, and we're going to click on Hide Selection. We're hiding those that were selected, and I'm going to now select all of this, and we're going to hit Delete, and we're going to go back up to Objects, and we're going to hit Show All. So now this is what we've created. As you see here, we have a few gaps. We're going to zoom in. So if you hit Command plus, you can zoom in, or you can hit View and you can do zoom in. As you can see, it shows you the key shortcut there. So hit Command plus, you can zoom right on in to see what is going on. And so from my, it looks like I need to align things up, and we can use the align tool here. So here we're aligning those at the bottom. Maybe I want to align this at the top. So that's all aligned. Let me see. This and this. That's going to be quite difficult. But I do know all of this needs to be aligned at the top. And it probably needs to go up like 1 pixel. And what the issue that we're having is it snapping to the grid that we had and that 1 pixel line that we had on there. And so I'm just spending this time with my tool, with the alignment tool, to try to connect these. Let me see. I'm going to select all of these and I'm going to align to the top. We're going to do, I'm going to select all of these and do the same thing. Okay, it's looking pretty good. Let me select all of these and do the same thing. So we're going to align to the top, move all of that up, and I think we're good. We're going to do that same thing here. I'm pretty sure if we did it the other way, we could probably see some more, but so this is a abstract type illustration. It's completely random. And what we come in here to do, as you start to add color, you start to block out these different areas. And so I'm going to pull up some color pages on the internet because I like using these different tools that these different websites have to try to plan out some of the colors that I have. Here you can see there's one that I enjoy that I have saved. It's called Color Hunt. And we can just get a unique color palette. It's a 4 color palette. We can look at what's new, what's trendy, see what's trendy. So like I like these, I always tend towards the bright colors. So let's do this. And so what I normally like to do is I like to go over here to my shape builder tool that's over here and select this rectangle. So basically I pressed on it, I hold it, menu came out, and I'm going to create 4 squares. So same thing we did earlier to make the perfect squares. You don't have to do the same thing, just make a square and then hit Alt, and we're going to have to like hit Shift is what I hold down to, and I make 4 of them. And I'm going to take those color combinations that they gave me, because so on the site you can go to the color, you can click it and it copies the hexadecimal there, and you can go over here and just double click into the fill color. So this is the fill color there. You can double click and you can hit Command V or just paste the color. You can type it in there too and it'll put the color in there. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get all these colors and I'm going to do the same thing over and over. And there we go. We have our yellow. There's a brighter yellow. So we're going to do this brighter yellow. I know last time people said they didn't like me saying the ums and the ahs and all that, but sorry about that. This was not one that was planned out for today. It's random. So you have to appreciate the randomness. So now I have to decide on what's going to be my background color. So a cool thing is I can just take something, put it over all of that. It's in a specific color, but you can send to front, send to back. So the key shortcut on a Mac is like Shift, Command, and then you hit your 2 brackets. You can do brackets in front, back. If I remember how to do that, I don't think I remember how to do that from the actual. Align. You bring to the front. So yeah, object align, bring to the front, bring to the back. So bring to the front, brings it all the way to the front. Object arrange, and you can bring to the back, and it sends it all the way. Send to the back, and it sends it all the way to the back. I'm not actually sure what color I want to be the background. I'm thinking the light yellow should probably be the background. So I have this square that I made. That's the background now. I can click on it, and you can click on this eyedropper tool and click on the lighter color. And I'm choosing the lighter color because it's a soft palette that should help blend everything. And the way that you connect these will actually start to build out certain shapes. So if I did this and I select my eyedropper tool and select the red, so now we have some reds. And what you could really do is come in here and start putting shapes inside a shape, and you start to create the imagination of something different. I don't know about that red and green. Have to be careful with some of these colors because they might vibrate. So red and green will vibrate if you put them together like that. So that's why I changed that from the green. I definitely don't want that. Let me see. We have some cool things going on here. Maybe these can be green, or maybe whatever set. I'm just thinking about how to do this. We can do like a yellow, and this is probably going to turn out really crazy that I'm not thinking. I'm just trying to think about what happens if I do each one of these in a I'm putting that next to a red. It might not be as bad. Just don't do it on top. Next to it might be okay. But once you start putting it on top, ooh, Jesus, you get some vibrations that you wasn't yellow. So I'm coming next to this red here, and I'm going to go with yellow. So we have these two matching, these two are different, which is okay. Let me see. I am looking at these two, trying to determine. I think I really want to do a different color. I'm not liking these colors now. Not liking them. I think there needs to be a darker set. Maybe let me just go ahead with this and do it and look and see what happens. Because I know why I'm not liking it. I've never been a huge fan of red, period. I've been a bigger fan of like pink. And now this is starting to reveal some alignment issues. So as you can see, that wasn't aligned so well. I'm gonna have to move this so that it gives the illusion that it's aligned well, but it's not. Or what I could do is bring it to the front. Object, align, bring to front. So therefore we won't have that issue at all because it's in the back of it, so it's gonna look like it's aligned. Solve that problem. So we put a circle inside of circle. You can do a square inside of a square. So like what happens if this is a piece of a square and you kind of made it look like it was part in there. So what if we zoomed in? So I'm hitting the command and plus, just trying to get in here closer. And I did something like that. So it's a piece of a square. And really you're just hiding it. So it gives the illusion that you did this thing without really doing this thing. And it's really cool. And it's the color of the background. So that's something that you can do. And you can do that to lots of different areas. So like what if I come up here and did that right here? So now you have like this piece out. It starts to create something different. And you can do this in any of these different areas. Now we made smaller triangles. What if I did that and took it over here? We start to create a really cool composition that's just built up with shapes that absolutely means nothing. It's just cool to look at. What really makes these popular is the type of colors that you use. And I think I am definitely going to change my colors. I think I know what type of colors I want. And I am definitely having issues with these squares. There we go. That's a lot better. But yeah, let me look at changing colors because I think I want to do I want to do blues. And I don't want to do something that they selected. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to change it. And we're going to do like some dark blues. So it's going to be monochromatic, some light blues. So yeah, I say so a lot. Ooh, I need to break myself with it. So I have that. I'm going to double click here and let's move towards lighter blues that are still within the same family. Lighter blue. Yeah, some lighter blues. Ooh, no, lighter blue. I don't like that. I'm going to have to come. Oh, well, we can do more of a greenish blue. That's fine. That's fine. That works. I'm liking this better already. This back, so it's either going to have to be white or it's going to have to be a really pale blue. I do like a white background. Yeah, we're going to keep it white. I'm changing this completely up. It has been now changed to white. These lighter colors, I want to do a lighter, like sky type blue. Let me see if I can get what I'm looking for. And so I'm just running up and down here looking. That's too close to a blue that I have. Maybe something around there that's kind of pale. So here we have these triangles here. These triangles can be a darker blue or a lighter blue. That creates something that's visually different. And trying to determine if I'm going to keep the red or not, because the red against the blue I can do, but I think not. I think I'm going to continue with a blue composition. So now we're starting to get to something that I'm really starting to like. I want to zoom in here to make sure these squares are not off balance. They are. I don't have time to go into my options and actually fix what's going on. That's like another video. That kind of creates like an S type deal. Okay, so now let's look at that. We have these darker blues. I'm trying to figure out how to lay out. That should be a light. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna need a lighter blue. I'm gonna do like a darker in there. I wonder if I can get like a navy. I'm already really close to maybe a darker navy. Trying to see if I can get something like that. No, because this blue is darker enough. It really have to be something light, but I haven't found the lighter blue that I like. And it's gonna have to be around here somewhere. Something like that. And I'm just playing around. Literally playing around. See, and that blue isn't different enough. It's not different enough. Maybe. Okay, that works. That's nice. That makes me want to change that too. So right now I'm using all keyboard shortcuts because it's so much easier. You can select this, and if you hit I, that brings up the eyedropper tool. So think of I for eyedropper, and you can just click on the color that you want, and it changes. Something very simple and easy. Let me see what else. What can we do? This really creates an interesting shape here. You know, even though that is all squares, but I like that. I'm going to remove that. I won't actually do that, but that was an interesting concept. Let me see. I want to do a light here, and let's see if I can do. I don't want. So we have this dark here, so I don't want to put dark back there. And I think I'm gonna do that. And I wonder, and I'm gonna do a dark one here, and we have a light blue there, and a light blue. So I definitely want to. I don't want like that. They're both here, but that might be okay. And then this one is gonna have to be a dark one. So that creates, yeah, so I like that. And then this, I'm going to make that white. I'm going to make that little circle white, because we can just start throwing these circles up anywhere. Just for no reason, just put it in a spot. And it visually creates something different and interesting to kind of throw off some of the monotonous of what we have here, because it's kind of sort of the same repeating random type deal that we have going on. You can take some time and look at how it's going to look when you like save it out. So right now that's what we're looking at. That's going to be on Instagram. Cancel that, go back. What I did was shift, option, alt, command, and then you hit your S for save, and that's basically the save for web property. And so you can start to see what this is going to look like without all that extra on the side. So yeah. So now I just need to let's play around a little bit more and see. So I have this light blue. I'm thinking about the columns of how things are laying up. It's not a lot of light blue over here, so I can add some. And what if I took this and we put this here, and we got our eyedropper tool and we made it like a dark blue? I really want to make this light blue too, with that dark blue in the middle, and that helps to counterbalance a lot of that darker blue that's there. Here it's like simple to make that blue, because I'm looking at what we have in these columns and what we have here. This is going to have to be a dark blue. That's interesting with these two like that. Creating this triangle here. We broke that off by bringing something here in the middle. It curves around. Let me see. This one, I'm going to keep it the same color because I don't want to put too much. I like this. I really want to make this that. That's what I really want to do. That's what my gut is telling me. And then we can make these. Do something like that. What do you guys think? I am having some issues here in the center because of this. I really need that end to line up appropriately. There. I think I did it. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Really needs that to line up correctly. Let me go back. This is always so difficult. So you see the issue that you have is like getting these straight lines. So you should focus on making sure that they are straight because it's going to be totally visible. I really want to break this up with another triangle. And let me show you what I'm talking about. So I'm going to copy, pull this forward, and I'm going to, and what I should be able to do is make this smaller by holding down shift and then throwing that right there in the middle. And if I make it a different color, you get like this Zelda Triforce thing that's going on. And it really, like, now you can start to break up each one of those. But I really wanted to try to break up some of that was happening there. And now see, now I'm looking at other places that I can throw some of these, because I'm thinking like, what if I did something like this and had that like in between where it was broken up, but then, you know, be a nice visual detail. And where else? See, I like this and then I don't. What I really want, I think I want that to be white, because then that's where we start to get some breaking up. Yeah, I think that's better. Now let's see, I have these two. Let me see, this one's going to have to be light blue because there's not much light blue in that column. And I'm thinking has a light blue, only a little bit light blue there, and this one's going to have to be light blue too because there's not enough light blue in that column. Okay, so what do you guys think? Yeah, so I didn't use none of the colors that I written and planned to use with that tool that I had. I made my own colors. But this was simple, really quick for me, and it's just a simple visual way that you can, basically it's like a puzzle that you can try to figure out to create something that's aesthetically pleasing for your aesthetics that you can put out there. And it's visually, oh, look at this, what happened here? Did I move that? It's visually appealing, something that you can look up. And this can easily be a mural, you know, a square on the wall. These you can easily put these on a wall with some paint, get some paint to match up, have them match up these different blues, or you can just either go and see what PS numbers match these if you wanted to. But this is it. So now let's save it for the web. We're gonna do Shift Alt Command and hit save. And when you do this, you want to save it as a PNG because PNG because these are solid colors. It's not a picture. So when you do colors like that, it becomes smaller. So look, you have your JPEG and you see it's 98K, but as a PNG, since it's the solid color, it's 21K. So you're saving file size. So anytime you have these solid color or illustrative color type detail that doesn't have a lot of small different colors, you can do this and it will be a smaller file size. It'll help you out so much. And we're going to save this. We're going to save it. Let's go to desktop and let's save this as save this art. I know I'm not very imaginative when it comes to names. And I'm also creating this in the middle of the night, and it's saved out as art. And here it is. So this is it. This is what we're doing, and that's what we did. So I hope you like this. Please leave your comments and stuff down there. I should probably go and animate this. That would make it a lot different, but I don't know. I just felt inspired and wanted to do something, and this is what I end up creating. I like it. I'm gonna put it on Instagram, and I hope you guys also are able to create something abstractly pleasing to your eyes. And I look forward to seeing what you're doing. If you put on Instagram, at me at Max Delarose on Instagram, and I would love and like to see what you come up with. So play with it and see what you get. Maybe next time, Tim, you should probably do wireframes first. Well, thank you very much, and you guys have a blessed time while you're dealing with this new environment that we have come to know to be our new normal. Bye.